Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Time for my review for Mashin Sentai Kiramager episode 15. So another very solid episode. I enjoyed this one again. A little bit kind of like a standard-ish episode, kind of like last week, but I still thought it was good. The plot mainly involves, well, we start off with everyone's watching a show that Blue is acting in with this girl that's playing a creepy version of Robbie and Rex. And they're watching the show and they want to know what happens next. And then it leads to the main plot of the episode, which is kind of a Silver and Blue episode, and then repairing his reputation. Well, I guess reputation, but relationship with Brawhead. And he's like, look, I can communicate with her using instant transmission of thoughts. I learned it on Yardrat of thoughts. And he's trying to communicate with her, and he explains, like, you know, because she's Crystallian and I have, like, you know, crystals in me, like I'm basically sort of Crystallian, so we can communicate telepathically, basically. And he's trying to do that to sort of get her to warm up to him, but she's not having it, and she leaves. And when she leaves, she finds these mysterious little egg ball things, which is going to be important for the plot. Then we go back to Blue, who's filming his show, and right in the middle of filming his show, Silver shows up and he's doing a search, and he's trying to find a treasure, and it turns out it's by or under this statue. And that was pretty funny. Like, there was a lot of little ridiculous moments in the episode that I thought were funny, though. Like, that was one of them I thought was pretty funny. And so they move where the chute is, and he's digging the whole time, but there's nothing ever there. And then he realizes, oh, it's like right under the statue and not next to it, and it turns out it's a Monstone that's there, and they have to fight it. And then meanwhile, what Bra had discovered earlier was a game of green light, red light from the other main villain who's not Garza, who I just realized in this episode I don't know his name either, so his name's now Jeff. So Jeff's playing green light, red light, and she gets all caught up in it, and the other Rangers arrive, and there's another funny scene where they're like, okay, is Shigeru really not going to show up? And he's like, yeah, you know, Silver's brother said, you don't have to show up because you want to work on the show. And Yellow's like, he probably just wants to watch the next episode. And I thought that was a funny idea, because at the beginning of the episode when they're watching, Silver's brother's like, yeah, you don't have to show up for the next Kiramager fight. You know, you gotta film. And like the idea that he did that because he just wants to find out what happens on the show is funny to me. But they end up showing up there. They try a bunch of tricks to trick the game, like Silver. Green uses her speed, and then they try to shoot it with discs and it doesn't work, and then the putties knock over Red and Yellow, so they all get turned into the little ball thingies. And meanwhile, Silver and Blue defeat the Monstone, and then Blue asks Silver a little bit more about his relationship with his sister, and he talks about how they used to be really close, especially when she was little, and he used to braid her hair, and I was like, she has hair? That was the biggest revelation of this episode. This whole time, 14, 15 episodes, I never knew she had hair this whole time. It was like a Mandela effect thing, where all of a sudden her hair was there. I swear it wasn't there yesterday, but he talks about how they used to bond, and then they get called to the scene of action because everybody's been turned into a little ball thingy. And when they get there, it gets walled off, and they're trying to come up with a plan on how to get there that's not dangerous. And eventually they formulate a plan for him to use his instant transmission of thought to warn her that they're going to be using Dreegen to, like, upend Jeff. Because they're sort of going off what happened earlier in the episode with Blue when he did that to him when they were fighting the Monstone. And they're not sure it's working because she's not saying anything, but it does work. She gets herself and everybody out of the way while Jeff gets upended. And then they say, like, oh yeah, I knew that it worked because she changed her hairstyle to pigtails. She got damn pigtails, Silver. So you should understand is that she was feeling nostalgic. So he realized that she was feeling nostalgic, and she actually was hearing what he was saying in the earlier episode, where earlier in the episode when he was doing telepathy with her. And so the big monster of the week looks really weird. I kind of liked it though. And then they fight in the mecha, and they use dust on to suck him up, and the day is saved. And I was yet again surprised that we're still haven't debuted Gigant Driller, which is really cool. And then at the end of the episode, it appears that Silver and Brawhead's relationship is on the mend, because she kind of, you know, gives him trouble for saying, like, oh, that was kind of mean that you said I used to look cute back then, like, am I not cute now? But then she's laughing, and so things are on the up and up for them. So it was a solid episode. I enjoyed it. I thought the dynamic with Silver and Blue was fun. I thought there was some funny bits with Blue's acting in this episode, and like the cast wanting, or the rest of the cast wanting to see it. And there was some funny bits within the green light, red light, and I did like that it brought up that Jeff, like, likes to use Earth customs and objects and stuff to try to attack them, and he even said that and so it made sense even if it was a little bit silly. I thought it was a nice, sweet episode for Silver and his sister, and kind of getting that back on track, just because you don't want to see that whole, like, oh, I hate you dynamic for a ton more episodes. And again, I'm really impressed that they haven't debuted, like we have his regular mecha there with the robo form, hasn't been debuted yet, and I just want to highlight that one more time. I'll probably mention it again, but I like that they're not rushing the mecha debuts, because so often, especially in recent years, they just rush them out like that and there's no time to breathe. And I like that it feels like we're just taking our time, getting Silver into the cast, enjoying some stuff. You know, we're still debuting little things, but it doesn't feel rushed. Like watching the preview for next week, which is about Traumatic Marshmallows, classic. It looks like we're just going to be debuting the other auxiliary mech that came with Dustin and the Silver mech, but we're not probably going to debut his full mech form next week, and I really like that. But overall, solid episode, very enjoyable. I would probably give it a 7.5. Nothing too spectacular, but I enjoyed myself. But what did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.